As you can see, HTML5 video, you can place them directly into your HTML, the videos, and the players will vary from browser to browser. So here I have the Chrome browser, here's Firefox, and here's Safari. As you can see, all three players look somewhat distinctly different from each other. So to get some consistency, we can use some modern JavaScript to interact with the controls. So that way we have consistent branding of our video player across the three different browsers. So that way it's more consistent. So no matter how people access your website, it still will look, the branding will still be the same. So here's the HTML that produces these three different videos in each of these browsers. So I'm going to just go ahead and close Safari and Firefox. And we're just going to work with Chrome right now. So I'm just going to have these side by side. So all we have right now is just the video with three different sources all set up. I have the controls enabled, and I also have a poster, which is this graphic that you see here. So you can play the video just fine, you can pause it, you can change the volume, things like that. So we want to be able to do this with JavaScript now instead. So to start off, first we need to create the HTML button. So we're just going to go ahead and create a basic unordered list. And the first thing we want to create is the play button. So we just want to go ahead and create the button with an ID of play. And inside of it, we'll just put play. Perfect. Now we want to do the exact same thing for the pause button. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it over and just change this to pause. And then change this to pause as well. Perfect. Okay, so now we have our play button, now we have our pause button. If I refresh this page, here they are. Currently they do absolutely nothing. So we need to attach some JavaScript to this in order to make it function. So let's go ahead and open up our JavaScript file called main.js. And inside here, so we're doing pure JavaScript. There's no jQuery library here. So what we want to do is create variables to store the play and pause button, so that way we can interact with the different properties with the video as well. So first, start off with, let's store the play and pause buttons. So variable, and we'll call this one play equals document dot, if you remember, query selector. So from our previous videos, we've used this before. So we want to select the ID of play. So this would be the play button. We want to do the same thing to the pause button. So variable pause. And let's do document, again, query selector. And we'll go ahead and capture the pause button here. Perfect. And we need one more, which is the video. Variable video. Document, query selector. So great. So now what we have is the video and the play button and the pause button stored in variables that we can interact with now. So this is one way of creating variables, which will work great, but there's another easier way to do this instead of having to repeat yourself. So remember the dry methodology, don't repeat yourself. So here we're repeating variable over and over again. So we don't want to do that. So instead of having these semicolons at the end of each of these, we can actually do it this way. Remove these variables, and just instead of semicolons, put a comma here and a comma there. So that way we have variables, and here's the first one, comma, second one, comma, and the third one closes off with the semicolon. Perfect. So that's just another way of creating that, a little bit cleaner. So now that we've done that, we need to test to make sure that we have all of these three items outputting correctly. And to do that, we need to just use the console to output the three variables into the console to make sure that they're grabbing the correct items just the way we expect them to. So let's do that first before we actually create any JavaScript code. Let's do console.log. So the first one will be play. And the next one will be pause, and then video. So we can actually go ahead and copy these over. Here's pause, and here's video. So let's save that. Let's refresh the page. Just open the console. Right click, click inspect element. Here we are. Console tab is right over here. So we have play, pause, output it. So it's outputting the variables. So this is something you might run into. So I wanted you to take a look. So it's outputting just the text, and the reason why is because if we look back over here, we put them in quotes. So instead of outputting the variable names, we're actually outputting just the string names. So just be aware of that. So let's remove these single quotes. Cool. Let's save that. Let's refresh. So I'm up the console again. There it is. Button, play, perfect. Pause, perfect. And here's the video. Excellent. So now that we have all three connected, we can start interacting with it. So the first thing we want to do is create our functionality that does the play button. So because we have the variable play available to us now, we can play. And then we click Add Event Listener. Okay. Inside of here, we need to listen for a click. So whenever somebody clicks, it needs to then output this anonymous function. And we go ahead and initiate it, video, because we have that variable as well, and the play functionality. So we save this and refresh the page and see what we get. Hit play. There it goes. Perfect. Now if we click on it again, it's not going to do anything. All this functionality is doing is just playing the video. When you click pause, it doesn't actually do anything because we haven't actually connected it yet. So we can stop it now. And let's create this exact same functionality or something similar to it to the pause. So we can actually copy and paste that over. Pause, because we have the variable pause available to us now. Add event listener. When somebody clicks on it, perform this following function. Instead of play, we want pause. Save that, refresh the page. So let's play it. So there it goes. And let's hit pause. Perfect. There you go. So now, with a simple functionality, you are now able to control the video just by hitting these buttons, play and pause. But see, the controls are still showing up. So let's go ahead and go back over to the index.html and make sure to remove controls from here. Let's save that. And now, if you refresh, there's no controls here. The same will be for Firefox and the same will be for Safari. We have same consistent buttons. You could style this with CSS to match your branding. You can click play. Great. And then you can pause to stop the video here. And that's it.